morning, kids. Are you ready for your lesson today? Let's begin with the pre-test. Direction. Read the question carefully. Write the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. Number 1. Which will likely happen if you move the north poles of two different magnets close to each other? It will blank. Number 2. What will happen if you move the north pole of one magnet toward the south pole of another magnet? Number 3. What is the main component used to produce a magnet? Number 4. Which of these does not use a magnet? Number 5. Which item is magnetic?
Looking back, write T in your answer sheet if the concept in the sentence is true, and F if it's not. Number 1. Force is a push or a pull upon an object. Number 2. The shape of an object will change when force is applied to it. Number 3. Performing daily activities like walking, biking, sweeping the floor uses force. Number 4. A footballer uses force to change direction of motion of a ball. Number 5. A cyclist uses bigger force to pedal his bike and increase its speed.
Brief introduction. We experience forces every day which cause objects to move, to stop, to change direction, to bend or change the shape, and even to break.
There are many types of force, and one of these is a magnetic force. Magnetic force is an invisible force exerted by magnets when they attract or repel each other. Some materials are attracted by magnets, while others are not.
When materials are composed of steel or ions are attracted by a magnet, it exhibits a magnetic force of attraction. But objects which are not made of steel or iron are not attracted by the magnet. Hence, a magnet exerts a magnetic force of repulsion.
As you move on through the pages, you will find engaging relevant activities for you to deepen your understanding of how does the magnet work.
Are you ready for your activity? Let's do the activity 1. Are you attracted or not? Objective. Identify and classify objects as to whether they can attracted by a magnet or not. What you need? Rice grains, sand, staple wire, coin, and cut out pieces of paper. What to do? Number 1. Prepare the materials needed. Number 2. Combine the 5 materials. The rice grains, sand, staple wire, coins, and cut out pieces of paper. Number 3. Use a magnet and hold it near to the given materials on a plate. Number 4. Observe what happens. Number 5. Classify the substance as to whether they can be attracted by a magnet or not. Guide question. Number 1. Which materials are attracted by magnets? Number 2. What is common among the materials that are attracted by a magnet? What are they made up of? Blank. Number 3. How about those that are not attracted by a magnet? What are they made up of? Blank. Read to know more. Magnets are objects made of magnetic materials that produce a magnetic field around them. Magnets pull other made of magnetic materials toward them. Magnets were first observed as natural orbs called lodestones in Magnesia, an ancient city of Turkey. The Chinese were probably the first to use lodestones as a compass to tell direction of the north and the south poles of the earth. Most magnets magnets nowadays are made up of a combination of nickel and cobalt instead of lodestones.
Activity 2. Objective. Make a chart of objects that can be attracted by a magnet. What you need? Coloring materials, colored paper, glue or paste, scissors, pen, pictures of magnetic materials, if available. What to do? Number 1. Prepare all the materials needed. Number 2. Next, cut or draw the pictures that can be attracted by a magnet. Number 3. Then start making a layout of your chart. Number 4. Use colored paper or coloring materials to add the design of your chart. Note! Use a piece of bond paper for this activity.
Activity 3. Objective. List down uses of magnets. What you need? Graphic organizer. What to do? Choose the uses of a magnet inside the box. Magnets are used to make a tight seal on the doors of refrigerators. Computers, televisions, and microwave ovens all operate with magnets. Magnets are important in scanning machines called MRIs, magnetic resonance imagers, which doctors use to look inside people's bodies. Computers use magnets to store data on hard drives. Food manufacturers use magnets to keep small iron particles out of food. Vending machines use magnets to differentiate coins from other material. Vacuum cleaners, blenders, and washing machines all have electric motors that work by using magnets. Activity 4. Objective. Describe and infer the force exerted by a magnet on another magnet. What you need? 2-bar magnets, thumbtacks, and bond paper. Note: if the magnets are not available at home, you may use the picture as a guide. What to do? Place 2 bar of magnets on the table. Number 2. Have the north pole of a bar magnet face the south pole of another magnet. Keep at least 4 cm distance from each other. Place them under the bond paper and try to move the bar magnet towards each other. Observe what will happen to the thumbtacks. Number 3. Repeat step 2, but this time change the position of the bar magnet. Let the north pole of a bar magnet face the north pole of another bar magnet. Move the bar magnet towards each other. Observe what will happen to the thumbtacks.
Guide questions. Number 1. What happens to the thumbtacks when the same poles, north to north or south to south of the bar magnet, face each other? What magnetic force was present? Number 2. What happens to the thumbtacks when the magnets with different poles, north to south or south to north, face each other? Describe the magnetic force present.
Read to know more. 2 magnets placed near each other will exert a force that will either push or pull them together.
Unlike poles, NS or SN attract. It is called magnetic force of attraction. While like poles, NN or SS repel. It is called magnetic force of repulsion. The push and pull of a magnet is called magnetism.
Check your understanding. Direction. Put check in the blank if the object is magnetic and X if not. Write your answer in your answer sheet. Number 1, zipper. Number 2, plastic chair. Number 3, scissor. Number 4, thumbtacks. Number 5, comb. Number 6, metal paper clip. After learning the force exerted by magnets, you are now ready to answer the post test.
Remember, the following points were discussed in this lesson. Magnets were first discovered as a material extracted from a stone called lodestone in Magnesia. Magnets are objects made of magnetic materials that produce magnetic field. Magnetism is an invisible force that can attract certain materials such as iron and steel. Magnet attracts materials that are made up of nickel, iron, and cobalt. They can be made into a bar, rectangle, block, horseshoes, round, rings, donuts, disc, or other custom shapes. Magnets can also be permanent, temporary, and electromagnets. The ends of a magnet is called its pole. One pole is called the North Pole, the other is called South Pole. A magnet always has two poles.
Post test. Number 1. What will happen if you move the north pole of one magnet toward the south pole of another magnet? Number 2. Which item is magnetic? Number 3. Which will likely happen if you move the north poles of two different magnets close to each other? It will... Number 4. What is the main component used to produce a magnet? Number 5. Which of these does not use a magnet? You did well in performing all the activities in this lesson. Congratulations!
Reflection. Make a journal of what you have learned. Write it in your science notebook. You may begin with a statement, I have learned